Greetings YouTube, Sega Zombie here, and welcome to a brand new episode, a new format of the Sega Wall. As promised on my previous video, we're going to be focusing on some Sega Zombie Sega, and we're going to be taking a real in-depth look at the Sega Wall. Now, as a first episode, I thought that would be very fitting to focus on the blue spines. Now, for those of you that watch most of my videos, know at the moment I have a massive passion and I'm obsessed with collecting all the blue spines. So let's get this video underway. Let's begin. Let's start at the very beginning. The Master System released games on a white background with a dark grid design. Then came the mighty Megadrive that reversed this style and had black with the white grid design. But in early 1994, released in PAL regions, was Sonic 3, a massive release for the Mega Drive, and it introduced us to the blue spines. Now, I'm sure Sonic 3 had something to do with my obsession and my desire to collect blue spines. It was a massive release on the Mega Drive, and as you can see in the wall here, guys, I have a large collection of the blue spine, blue cased Mega Drive games. They just look great, and there's so many genres. I think they leap out at the wall at ya. Let's take a closer look. You've got the Ooze, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Samurai Showdown. We've got Cannon Fodder, Red Zone, Mega Swiv, Mega Bomberman. And on the next shelf, you've got the likes of Ren and Stimpy, Rystar, Streets of Rage 3. And then on the final third shelf, we've got Mr. Nuts, Pitfall, Mega Game 6, Rock and Roll Racing. So many different genres, so many great releases, all on the blue spine on the Mega Drive. Not everyone's into their blue spines, but to me, they look great on the shelf, guys. I love the blue spines. They have got some negatives. There is some drawbacks with the blue spines. Now, a lot of people will grumble that the labels come away, but that's an incentive for me to try and track down perfect ones, or ones that can be glued back down. Why such a passion for blue spines? Not quite sure what it is. I can remember when they first released with Sonic 3, and I remember thinking, wow, they look really cool. And I can remember in the late years of the Mega Drive, I was picking up games really cheap, and it was the blue spine ones that attracted me. I kept picking up blue spines off car boot sales and out of shops, and back then I had probably a dozen different blue spine games, but I always thought they stood out from the crowd and they stood out from the regular Mega Drive cases. I think it stuck with me. When I started heavily a few years back focusing on collecting Mega Drive games and Sega in general, it was in the back of my mind that I have got to focus on the blue spines and try and get the complete set. Now, it's going to be a really tough task because there's some really heavy hitters on the blue spines, but I'm hoping one day I have a complete set. So there's a little bit of background to do with the blue spines, and I thought we'd take this opportunity to just pick out a few that are nostalgic, are great games, and some awesome box art. So let's get underway. Let's not hold it back. Let's go and take a look. Now, first up, I'm going to go to the Punisher. Now, the Punisher is a rare game on the Mega Drive. It came out really late in the Mega Drive's release. I'm really proud to have this in my collection. It's a great game. It's not arcade perfect. It's a strong conversion, but it's side-scrolling beater. It's Marvel. It's the Punisher. What more can you ask? A great little game, and I'm really glad to have that in the wall. Another one which is a rare one and is creeping up in value, and that is Alien Soldier. I've had this one in the wall for a while now, and it is visually a stunning game. It's done by Treasure, We all know who Treasure is. They've done Gunstar Heroes and done some superb games on the Megadrive. And this game, even though it's as hard as nails, it's a solid run and gun, huge sprites, great 2D animations, an awesome game. So I had to choose that one. Next up we've got Cannon Fodder. Now Cannon Fodder was originally released on the Amiga, and I did love it on the Amiga. It's the best version, but the Mega Drive version is solid. And it's a game I go to a lot. I will always go back to Cannon Fodder and give it a blast. A really, really great game by Sensible Software and highly recommended. And it sits proudly in the Sega wall. Next up is a recent addition, and that is Body Count. This is a game I've been after for a while. Finally got it in the wall. And I love the box art. Look at that, guys. Awesome box art to that game. Really, really love the design. It's not a bad game. It's a menace, a gun game, light gun game, which there isn't too many of them on the Mega Drive. And it's a solid shooter. You can actually blast everything. You know, it's a fun, mindless little game. And if you love gun games, I highly recommend it. And then next up, we've got something a little different for me, and that is The Story of 4. Now, most of you will know I'm not really into my RPGs, but this is an exception. The Story of 4 is a game that captured my imagination all them years ago, and it was one of the first RPGs that I actually played all the way through and finished. And it's a great game. It's a really, really great game. It's got Saturday morning cartoon comic book style art. Really, really solid gameplay. Yeah, is it a Zelda clone? Yeah, it probably is, but it's a great, great game. Highly recommended, guys. And then next up, another great game, and solely just because it's an absolute adrenaline rush, and that's Probotector by Konami. Now, this game, again, like most run and gun shooters, is hard as nails, but my God, what an absolute adrenaline rush. A fantastic game. Konami at their peak, at their best. Really, really recommend this, guys. If you haven't got it in your Mega Drive collection, I highly recommend it. A great run and gun. And staying on the theme of run and guns, the next one up is Mega Turrican. Fantastic music, awesome visuals, brilliant 2D animations, really, really nice level designs. I really enjoy the HR Giga or HR Geiger inspired levels. Fantastic run and gun. And this is a game that I'll always pick up and play. And I play it quite regularly on the Mega Drive. Moving to something a little different. And we've got Flink, which is a lovely Psygnosis release. Again, originated on the Amiga. This one, glorious. Some of the best graphics I've seen on a Mega Drive. Looks visually stunning. It's not a game I've completed. I go to it every now and again, but it's a very, very tough game. It's got a very steep learning curve, but perseverance, you do progress. Every time I play it, I get that little bit further, and it's just stunning. A stunning game. If you've got a CRT TV, this really, really shows it off. A stunning game, guys. Highly recommended. This next choice is a bit controversial. It's not everyone's cup of tea, and that is The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Again, another relentless shooter, run and gun style game. Again, I used to love the cartoon back in the 90s, early 90s of this. And what a great Mega Drive game. It's got really, really heavy inspired an Amiga soundtrack, music soundtrack. The visuals is quite dark and toned, just like the cartoon. Another game I highly recommend, and it's a game I give a quick blast every now and again. So I've highlighted some of my favourite Blue Spine releases. There's loads more I could show you guys, but there's just a select few. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until the next time, goodbye.